I've been in this your storm so long. Oh, this your honey time. Oh, this your honey time. Crying, Lord, Lord, give we more time for pride. I've been in this your storm so long. Down here, where 100 children be at now, and don't scatter like 100 crack your teeth and corner. Ever such a thing back on the red man be dead. All of this shit been a chickra. Ain't been a no cattle. Boss, you see. I plenty of time now. 100 children was there, I said no scatter like down yonder, a sauce, and I Georgia and blood all kind of other rest of things. But ain't been such a thing before. Just like 100 children yet about the Gullah and Geechee now. But when they be teeth we, from way across them, in our Gullah, even an Igbo, Mandinka, Malinke, Yoruba, Gullah, Geechee, Mendi, Temni, Ifi, Ibibio, and all of the rest of kind of children. Not just right, Gullah, Geechee. But now, and then I carry up on this shot. Have plenty of we that walk in this shot. 100 years ago now. Call it Carolina Gold. Red was. Had all the rest. Wine on. Brought you back in this shot thing. 100 now years ago. For the Seattle car. Then Kevin caught it. And then some of we ancestors, they gone dead. The hand blew up a thing. When I indigo. And you know one thing? It did. 100 steady about that. 100 kept going on. Jacksonville, North Carolina. Down to Jacksonville, Florida. And going in. 30 to 35 miles. The St. John. Yeah. That water. The water to bring me up. The water going to take me back. 100 going there. 100 my doing yelling. Nothing. The cracky teeth I got to show. Because plenty of people were coming. When they yelling me, see we in a cracky. And yelling me, they want to change up everything. That's why in a study book, all the rest of me. See, you get you, try for me, my dog. Try for me, we say, we've been a slave. But we don't know better. But see, when that cat sweep on the holler, 100 years children yet about, or the sea holler, them mean for you. God mean for good. So even did it, we done did it. And we done been here. Ain't going no way. So see, and plenty of the children are coming in now. And now yet we the crack we teeth like that. It's still a great God. All the Gullah Geechee are gone. And things like that. It's all kind of cracky thing this year. And we the day right here. Then I see me, tall. But then we study about. And then we know see. 100 coming in now. Same time 100 yet this year. You hear a bunch of people speaking to you like this. So as a result, when you come into the Gullah Geechee Nation today, and on to many of the Sea Islands, people say that Gullah Geechee culture no longer exists. Because this language that I speak to you now is not our own. It was our second language that was taught to us. And not taught because we wanted to learn it. No one said, well, I'm going to go and take a course in American English. Because American English is only a dialect of the English language. It was told to us that we needed to get rid of ours and replace it with this one. With great God. You're glad to see plenty of people not study about that all. Because if they did, we wouldn't have our culture and many of our traditions today. I've done a lot of lectures, and one of them was entitled, The Way We Speak, the way we live. And so for a lot of people today, because people don't live the African traditions, because they've assimilated into traditions of other lands, people often feel like there's only the once or the twice a year that we can get a glimpse at it. So they come out to programs like this. That's the same reason they come to visit the Gullah Geechee Nation. As I said to you earlier, but I don't think y'all got it, that starts at Jacksonville, North Carolina, and goes all the way to Jacksonville, Florida, and 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River. That is our nation. We have been here since the 1600s and up to today. You have plenty of people who somehow, when they hear the cracky teeth, I gotta say it in English. When they get understand talk, how they think that. We have a lot of people still teaching people that when you hear Gullah spoken, it's English. We have no idea how they think that. Because every time I speak Gullah amongst an audience of English speakers, I get the looks I'm looking at right now. Because they have no understanding. Well, one of my favorite proverbs, and when you come to a Kwanzaa celebration, a celebration of African traditions and culture, proverbs are some of the key elements that ought to be involved, because proverbial sayings are often that which we learn from, that we live by in African communities around the world. And so, you don't have to have a lot of words, and that's one of the reasons I guess Gullah Geechees don't take too well to American English, because it's very superfluous. There are some things that we can say in 2 or 3 words that take you a complete 15-word sentence to say in English. But we still don't grasp why, with all those words, the only word that we often were told about our own language and tradition and culture was backwards. We had people for generations saying that if we spoke our own language and lived our own traditions, that it was backwards and ignorant. But there's another B word that I learned in institutions of higher learning such as this, and that was the word bilingual. And I think that's a little bit more accurate for someone who speaks more than one language, don't you? Yes. I don't meet too many backward people who know their own language very well, much less to know 2 or 3 or 4. Right? Right. Has anyone else here ever studied a language? Uh-huh. So imagine, a language is only one small element of a culture. But imagine the complete destruction or annihilation of a people based on the language they speak. That was the attempt on Gullah Geechee culture. Was if they could convince us that the way we spoke was no good, then the way you lived had to be no good too. So stop doing that. Get rid of it. Why hold on to it? Well, when I thought about the celebration tonight, what are we celebrating? Kwanzaa. I thought of the fact that there is more than one Kwanzaa. The same way there's more than one language. The Kwanzaa we celebrate tonight has how many A's in it? 3. How many? 3. Because I heard 2 answers. So there are 3 in the one you're celebrating tonight. However, there is another from whence this one was derived that has 2 A's in it. And so, one of the reasons that my ancestors were kidnapped and brought to this land was because of their ability to what? This is a celebration of the harvest.